Hi, my name's Tim Wilson. Welcome to video 4. Today we're going to talk about the 7 common mistakes people make while they're building their network marketing business. Keep in mind, we've got to still answering this question. How do we sponsor like a 6- and 7-figure income earner before we are one? Additionally, we'll talk about this question you may receive from time to time that probably comes up as an objection, or people throw at you as an objection, which is, how much money are you making? There's a few things you need to keep in mind before you go into, or before you start addressing that question. At the bottom of this video, there's a summary sheet. I want you to go ahead and print that out. It actually has, this is an abbreviated version of them, but it has these 7 common objections on the summary sheet itself. Additionally, these are on page 31 in the introductory course in their entirety. And I'm going to review the last 3 or 4 days worth of content. We'll talk about the information. I'm also going to go through and show you the private membership site and let you take a look at the practice training module. I'll show you each one of the individual modules, the mindset, dealing with people, and the objection crushing module, as well as the Crusher Extra and some additional things about the private membership site itself. Show you how to log in and give you a good overview of what it's going to be like when you do join. So let's go ahead and get started on these. Quitting. You know, people quit everything. If I can eliminate the quitting, if I can keep you from quitting, then I know that I've got a 95% chance of getting you closer to your dreams. 95% of failure comes from people quitting. And keep in mind, failure is not final unless you quit. So if we can eliminate the desire to quit, we can get you much closer to where you need to be. Then you just have to work on this mindset. You have to work on learning how to lead people and develop people, learning how to crush the objections, you know, and that's the whole idea behind the Crusher course, is to help you crush the objection while you're learning these things, while you're developing the skill set. Help you develop or have the ability instantly, very quickly, to crush objections and not allow anyone to take you out because they're asking you really sort of a dumb question. And they're just trying to confuse you, or they're just trying to be negative a lot of times because they don't have the understanding that they need in order to, you know, talk intelligently about the business. They're working off of myths. They're working off of misunderstandings, and that's what they're filtering all of their questions through. So we've got to eliminate the desire to quit. Like Peter Lowe says, you know, people that are successful have overcome the temptation to give up. You've got to overcome the temptation to give up. Number 2, focus too much on the dream and not on the who. Now, I know this may sound contradictory to becoming successful. We've all got to have a passionate why. And the key word there is passionate. Your dream has to drive your passion. You've got to be passionate about it. I mean, if you're not passionate, you're not going to stay the course. And what I find that a lot of people wind up doing is they focus so much on the dream that it takes away from their development. It takes away from who they need to become to achieve the dream. You've got to focus on who you need to be so that you can demand the dream shows up, so that you deserve to achieve the dream. And that's what the Crusher course is all about, is giving you this ability to stay locked in and get focused enough so that we can develop this mindset. We can develop who you need to be to achieve the dream. Number 3, practice. Man, if you're not practicing, you're not going to be successful. You know, amateurs try, professionals train. You've got to learn to train. You've got to be a trainer. You've got to practice and practice and practice. That's the whole concept behind the practice training module, putting you into an environment that is rejection-free so that you can go over and over and over the information, over and over and over the responses until you get the rhythm, you get the cadence, you understand what it is to be able to address the objection so that you can move people through the objection and get them to the information that they need to see about your opportunity. Number 4, gaming. You know, easy in, easy out. You've got to treat the business like a career. And actually, as it's exactly written, you know, not treating the business as a real business. Treat it like a career, and it will pay you like a career. Most people didn't receive income from the company they started working for after they graduated college their freshman year. So think about this business from the standpoint of you get to train and be paid. You get to develop an income while you're developing the skill set. We just got to keep you in the business long enough, keep you focused on the right things so that the objections, the cheap shot objections, do not take you out. So number 4 is gaming. It's Jeff Wilson has a great quote. It's the reason people quit is because it's easy to get in, so it makes it easy to get out. We've got to eliminate that desire to quit. Overcomplicating. You can't overcomplicate the process. And what I mean by this is a lot of people, they try to do too many things instead of being focused on the right things. So we've got to eliminate the desire to overcomplicate it. You cannot overcomplicate it. I've met a lot of very intelligent people who were almost too smart to make a lot of money. And what I mean by that is if you're focused on trying to recreate the wheel, if you're totally focused on trying to do everything a different way, somehow come up with a different plan, you're not going to be focused on what it really takes. And 2, you're not going to be duplicatable. And that's even more critical. See, the course itself and my desire is not to get you to a 6- and 7-figure income solely. It's to be able to get your team to a 6- and 7-figure income. You need to have 3 to 4 people in your organization that are earning this 6- and 7-figure income. That's when your business becomes an asset, not just income. So we've got to eliminate the desire to overcomplicate things. A lot of people spend their time focused on, this business is really about not focusing on 4,000 different things, but focusing on 4 things and doing them 1,000 times. It's a business of repetition. You also need to stay in this, what I would call the startup stage of your business, until you do have these 6- and 7-figure income earners in your business. That means that you do the basics. You do 80% of your time is spent on creating activity, on doing the income creating activities. Number 6, embracing change. You've got to embrace the change process. Man, if you look at any professional, what do? They go out and hire a coach. They get someone to help them change the smallest of things. They look for things on a daily basis that they can change. And an amateur, a lot of times, they try to figure it out for themselves. They don't really go, they're not really focused on the training concept. They're still kind of in that trying mode. So who's making the money? The amateur's not really generating any income, and they don't want to coach. The coach is generating, or the person that hires the coach is generating income. So just bypass the process. Just fast forward and adopt this professional mentality so that you can become a professional. That's the whole process. Most professionals have, even in this industry, the leaders that I work with and the leaders that I know, they all have coaches. Maybe for different areas. Maybe it's an internet marketing coach. Maybe it's a speech coach. Maybe it's a writing coach, personal development coach. They all work to some degree with some type of a coach. Could be a physical trainer because they want to get better or more in shape. They want to be physically more on their game. They want to get in the game more. So we've got to, don't worry about change. You've got to embrace change. You can't be an amateur and say, don't try to change me. I'll figure it out on my own. Just let me do it. Just embrace it. Look for someone that you can connect with that has already done it. That actually takes us to number 7, which is staying plugged in. One of the most beneficial things that you can do in this profession or this industry is catch the vision of your upline leadership. Catch the vision of someone who is successful. Catch the vision of someone who has done it before, who's already made it. It's critical that you do that. In the course itself, we coach something called the 3-stranded cord. I talk to you and I show you how to go upline and how to go downline. You've got to make a determination that you're going to build this business, and to do that, you've got to stay plugged in. You've got to be in the process of accomplishing all these things and eliminating the desire to quit. Focused on who you need to be to get the dream. You've got to practice. You've got to stay in the game. You can't quit. You can't quit. You can't see it as a game. You've got to look at it as a profession, as a career, and you've got to have that career mentality. You cannot overcomplicate the process. You got to stay engaged in the simple activities of producing results, the simple activities of engaging in what produces the results, the income generating activities in the business. And then you've got to embrace the change. So we've got to stay plugged in. We've got to create teams. I would recommend that you find an upline leader, go through and connect with someone that has made it. Grab hold of their vision. Hang on to that vision. It's one of the most critical things that you can do. And then grab one of your downline, grab one of the people that you've sponsored, someone that's a spark waiting to ignite, and connect with them. Try to build as much as possible in three people at a time. Try to build as much as possible in what I call three-stranded cords. So this is the 7 most common reasons that I've heard or seen that people have not been successful, that they've not been able to reach the 6 and 7 figure income. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the private membership site. I'm going to walk you through that. I'll show you the practice training module, and then when we come back, I'll review the information that we've talked about over the last 3 or 4 days, and then additionally, I'm going to make you a special offer that I think will kill any procrastination objection that you may have. I personally want to guarantee that you get as much out of this course as you can, and I'm willing to connect personally with you to do that. So we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, now let's go through your private membership site. Just go to objectioncrusher.com/login. You'll use the password that you received once you joined the course. The first thing that you see come up is a fast start video, just an overview of the course itself and primarily the membership site itself. Mindset, you'll see that all the modules are exactly like we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 videos. Did meant to mention that you can go into the introductory course as well. I would use the course itself multiple times. As you begin to build, or as you're building your business, you're going to have experiences. It's great to run those experiences back through the introductory course, back through the different modules that you feel like it would apply to. Some of the modules will be coming soon. You'll see that. That's content that's either being worked on or content that's being developed. It's being loaded. Maybe it's not quite finished yet. All of this content, anything that you see coming soon, will be available to all the lifetime members. So if you're a lifetime member, you have the ability to never have to pay for additional content. It's like a book that just keeps growing, or it's like buying a book one time and then that particular edition, every edition of that book, every time the publisher republishes the book, they just send you one. 4 keys to connecting with people for effective relationships. 3-stranded cord strategy. All of this is, of course, about dealing with people. Handling objections, session 1 and session 1, part 1, and then session 1, part 2. What I do here is actually go through the content on the board, and then because people learn differently, I go through the content in a keynote presentation as well. All keynote presentations will have the slides with them, possibly even a PDF that gives the detail or the content, the detail behind the slides themselves. Here I just go through the acronym for STOP, give you all the information about that, anything I think's noteworthy. And the reason I do this, again, is because some people learn by listening, some people learn by seeing, some people learn better by having to fill in the blank or reading. The practice training module is where you can come and just follow the bouncing ball. I go through a keynote presentation here and cover approximately 10 different objections. Each objection has 2 or 3 options for it, so you can practice. And you see, for example, I'm too busy. I've got 3 different responses to I'm too busy. What you'll discover is there's going to be probably 3, 4, 5 different options that you sort of migrate to, and as you begin to practice this very consistently, you'll use those options and kind of work that into just about any objection or any situation. And sometimes you'll be using multiple objections per person. So someone may give you an objection, you crush that one, and that leads to another, well, yeah, but you do the same thing. You just go right back through the process of crushing that one. Crush your extras, where I've got any articles, any other reports that are produced. And the exciting thing for me about this is I get to just share the content with you that's behind the article, share my thoughts and what I wanted to really get out in a very detailed manner behind the article, or all the information. For example, these are 3 different articles that appeared, or one article that appeared in 3 parts recently in the Obtainer magazine. You can go in and change your profile settings, add your picture, change your display name, add your password, do your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter connections. And there's your course. Or more accurately, this is your private membership site, your private membership portal. This is where all your content will be loaded. You'll have access to it, virtual access, 24/7. And on any device that you've got, any of the download sheets, any of the PDFs, you can download them. And on any device, all of and any of the videos will play. So you have access to it on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, desktop, whatever device you want to use. Hi, welcome back. Now we're going to talk about and just simply review the content that we've looked at over the last 3 or 4 days and just get a generalized overview of the course itself and really what's in it for you. I'll also make you an offer in just a few minutes that I think will absolutely eliminate any procrastination that you may be feeling or expecting or thinking. Keep in mind, this is not a $2,000 course. This is not even a $500 course. Being part of the Crusher community and taking advantage of this opportunity is, it's basically like going out for a nice dinner. And you'll have a lifetime membership. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But just in review, in the 3 key concepts of the course again, and a concept is a unit of knowledge. We develop these units of knowledge, and it's like utilizing or borrowing somebody else's experience so that we don't have to go through the process. Crush external objections and internal objections. It's one thing to be able to handle an external objection. And of course, that's what the practice training module you just took a look at is designed to do. We've got to be able to crush those external objections so that we don't get taken out of the business. Now, ultimately, yes, we want to sponsor people. We want to sponsor people like a 6- and 7-figure income earner. But we cannot allow anybody that has a misunderstanding or a myth about this industry to steal your dream. I know that if I can keep you engaged, keep you plugged in long enough, I can prevent that from taking place. And a lot of times what happens is people don't stay in the business. They don't stay at the course. They don't understand that concept number 2, success is a process. They break everything down to individualized and singleized events. We've got to see success as a process. As long as we understand that success is a process, as long as we understand that we've got to learn how to crush objections as fast as we possibly can. And the reason that we're crushing the objection again is not to, at that point, to convince somebody to get in the business. It's to move them through the objection so that we can determine if this person is somebody we want to work with. Do we want to talk to them about the network marketing business? Do we want to talk to them about our product or about the opportunity itself? And then additionally, we've got to crush internal objections. We cannot allow myths and misunderstandings that are out in the universe, that are out there running around, that people carry around with them about this industry to steal our dream. We can't allow those things that we haven't quite got solidified, that we don't quite have a full understanding of, to take away our passion, to take away, to impact us in a negative way, because that will impact directly the way that we feel. And you learned that in one of the videos as well. Our feelings have a direct impact on our actions. So we've got to learn how to manage those feelings. We do that with concepts. We do that with knowledge, with breaking down the myths that are in this industry. And then 3, finally, we've got to learn how to focus on the right things. And what are the right things? It's developing the $1 million mindset. It's dealing with people, learning how to deal with people so that they don't take us out, learning how to deal with people so we maintain or increase their self-esteem, so that we establish and create relationships, so that we can create rapport, and so that these are people that want to be around us. They want to hang out with us. These are so we can go to the people, we can be in an environment and attract a higher and higher quality of person, or a higher and higher potential prospect, someone that is more ready, or that is, I guess more ready is an accurate phrase, someone that is ready to engage now, and if they're not ready to engage now, then maybe we want to hang on to them establish a relationship. What's the process for doing that? We've got to know that. You've got to learn how to be a leader. You've got to learn how to, if you're not going to be a leader, you've got to learn how to be a link and connect people properly, connect them to the right place. This is a great industry because in this business, you can make as much money learning how to link things up, link people up as you can by learning how to lead people. So we've got to learn how to deal with people. We've got to learn how to crush the objections. If you can't crush the objections, then you've got a higher probability of someone taking you out of the business. And it's more important that you learn how to crush the objection, not during the presentation, but during casual, everyday conversation. Now, if you want to hit this business hard, if you want to grow fast, you've got to engage. You've got to be connecting with people. You got to be talking to people on a daily basis. It doesn't really matter where you get them. I don't care if you're online marketing and it's attraction marketing, or if it's offline warm marketing, if it's belly to belly, whatever it is, whatever means that you're using to generate leads, you've got to talk to people. I've not really seen many people establish firm, solid relationships without talking to people. And in doing so, we've got to be able to learn to crush the objection so that, again, people will not take you out of this business. Keep in mind, how do we sponsor like a 6 and 7 figure income earner? How do we deal with the objection like a 6 and 7 figure income earner? How do we stay engaged, stay in the business like a 6 and 7 figure income earner before we are one? Well, that's what the Crusher course is all about. It's about fast tracking you into that process of becoming a 6 and 7 figure income earner, developing that mentality, dealing with the people, and crushing the objections. Now, additionally, you've got to develop the skill sets, the core activities. Every company has a set of core activities. Maybe it's 4-step pattern, an 8-step pattern, a 7 things that you've got to do. Eric Worre recently came out with a great book that talks about the 7 steps to becoming a professional networker. I recently, about 6 months ago, wrote an article or a 3-part series article in the Obtainer magazine that talked about 7 secrets of a professional networker. And all of his steps actually fit within one of the steps of the 7 secrets. So it's really interesting how all of this success in the industry begins to link up. When you hear someone say it one way, talk about becoming successful, talking about the things you need to do to be successful in this business, they pretty much say it the exact same way, even though they may use different verbiage. Everything sort of fits together. So success does leave clues, and there's patterns to success. Being part of the Crusher system or utilizing the Crusher system is what that's all about. So again, we're going to sponsor like a 6 and 7 figure income earner so that we can become a 6 and 7 figure income earner. More importantly, we're going to give that ability or help our team do that as well. Now, let's talk about this objection real quick, and then I want to go through some of the benefits, and I'll make you an offer. How much money do you make? There's 3 things you really need to be aware of. One is time. You need to know, and this sounds funny, but you need to be prepared to address the time factor. The reason why, if you've been in the business for 30 days and you haven't really made 6 figures yet, which I'm sure you're probably not, it's okay. But maybe if you've been in the business for 30 months and you haven't really hit the income level that you're looking for yet, or the income level that you're thinking about, you need to know where you are in the process. Again, success is a process. Where are we in that process? What's the reasons that we're not further along? Maybe we tried to figure it out for ourselves. Maybe you're one of these guys or persons that does not read the directions. You just dive in head first, and you try to do 4,000 different things instead of 4 things 1,000 times. Well, if that's the case, then we've got to address that when you're talking to people. So you need to know, how long you've been in. So, I've only been in 30 days. That's a great question. I appreciate you asking that. I wish more people would ask. I've only been in about 30 days, but our company has a system that has produced all of the results in our business. Our company has a system that's produced all the results. Do you have anything, or are you looking at anything right now that offers this much potential with as little risk? And then you be quiet. Man, that's exactly why you need to take a look at this. That's exactly why we need to talk about this. That's exactly why you need to listen to this CD or come to this meeting or get on this web conference. And then the last one is profit. Think about this for a second. All brick and mortar business talk about profit. It's all about profit. It's not about how much money you're making. It's about profit. So you've got an opportunity to be involved in a business that has very little monthly expense. So it's very easy for you to make 100% profit. It's very easy if you're spending $100 on your product a month or $200 on your product per month, then it's very easy for you to make 50% profit, for you to make 100% profit, 200% profit. And if you've been in the business for a little while and maybe you really haven't engaged in the process, then be honest. Tell people, I haven't really utilized the system, but do you have anything that you're currently looking at that has the potential that this has with as little risk? And then, right now I'm only making 100% profit. So, what else can someone do? What else can somebody get into when they're only making, when they're making actually 100% profit, or when they've only got a monthly expense of a couple $100 or $200 or $300? You couldn't start a lawn care service for $300 or $400 or $500 per month and make 100% profit. You just couldn't do that. So think about that. Think through that. You've got to think in realistic brick and mortar terms. Bring it back. Don't let people take you out by this question. So understand these things before you go forward into this objection. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of the course itself. And I told you I would make you an offer. Again, this is not a $2,000 course, not a $500 course. We're talking about something that is basically the price of a nice dinner for a lifetime membership. And there's going to be a few of those that I'm going to make available. Number one, the course is virtual. You can access it anywhere on the planet by any device. You can watch the videos on your iPhone, iPod, or iPad, laptop, computer, anything that you want to watch the videos on, you can do that. You can download all the documentation. If I lose this book, I go back to the course and I print it out again. And sometimes maybe I'll print it out 2 or 3 times. I've made notes in it. I'll start over. I'll take an experience that I've had, a good experience, bad experience, and I'll go back through the course, go back through some of the information again to learn, so that this time I've got a different benchmark that I'm learning from. So it's very critical that you've got all this content available to you, any of the action sheets, worksheets, any of the things that go along with any of the, anytime that we do an insider tips or an interview or a webinar, there will be action sheets available for you with that. You can download and print those out and utilize those action sheets or worksheets. So it's all virtual, works on any utensil, any device, anything you want to play it on. You're never going to lose it. You don't have to move it from one computer to another computer. 3 courses in one. The $1 Million Mindset, Dealing with People, and Crushing the Objections. It all works together. In other words, you're not pulling different information from different locations together to put together this curriculum or this learning center or this process for different things. It all relates to you building your business, to you becoming a crusher. So the mindset relates to dealing with objections. The mindset relates to dealing with people. Dealing with people relates to having a $1 million mindset. So it's all interwoven. Eliminate fear. The practice training module. You have an environment where you can go and practice all of the objections that you want to practice. You can go through, and what usually happens for people is they develop a feel for 2 or 3 of the objections, and those become their go-to objection handling statements. Those become their the go-to process that they use to move people through just about any objection. And you develop this rhythm. You don't have to worry about rejection. You don't have to worry about fear. You just go through the process of following the bouncing ball, just like you saw in the practice training module. You just walk through it with me. You print it out, you carry it around, you read it and read it and read it. You go back through, you listen to me, follow the verbiage, kind of get the pace. And it also works. Another thing that you'll discover is after you really get this, when you're doing meetings for people, if you're in front of a room of 3, 5, 6, 7, 700 or 7,000 people, it doesn't really matter. You can address these objections as you move forward. You can address the objection in the presentation. You can talk about it. You know already what's going to happen. And once you get this clarity, which is what the Crusher course, the Objection Crusher course is all about, once you get the clarity, then that's kind of where you get it. That's where you become really, that's called the empowerment point. That's the get it point. That's where you see the ability to move yourself forward within your own success. Number 4, ongoing updates. Whenever there is a 2.0, a 3.0, it's like a continuation of software. How many times have you bought Microsoft Windows a lot. You know, you've paid for it every time you bought a new computer. Maybe you've paid for an update. You'll never pay for an update. You'll never pay for an update in the course because it'll always be virtually available to you. So anytime we make an update for a limited number, we've got a limited number of lifetime members we're going to make this offer to. You'll never actually pay for. Now everyone will always get the updates to the course, but once we start the monthly training series, there's going to be a limited number of lifetime members that will never pay for the monthly training series. So you've got ongoing updates. And then insider tips, we talked about that just a few minutes ago. Anytime I do an interview with anyone or a special webinar from someone within the industry, we'll put together an action process for you. So that, you know, as I told you before, people learn differently. Some people learn by reading, some people learn by listening, some people learn by watching and listening, some people learn by taking their own notes, filling in the blank. And I want to make all of this available so that you can get the most out of every piece of content that's possible. And then finally, the transformation. What's the transformation? I don't want you to buy a tool. I want you to get the whole, so to speak. And everybody probably knows what I'm talking about that. You've heard the old expression, you know, when people go to the store to buy a drill, they're not really looking for a drill. They're looking for a hole. I don't want you to buy a tool. I want you to buy a solution. I want you to buy the 6- and 7-figure income that you're going after. That's what I want you to go after. I want you to buy the ability to eliminate fear. I want you to buy the ability to move forward in your business and help other people do the same thing. I want to give you the confidence to eliminate or help you eliminate some of the fear, the misunderstandings, the anxieties, all the frustrations that really come from dealing with people, because we're dealing with people in the network marketing business, because we're building our business. I want to help you eliminate those things. So it's really about the transformation. That's where we want to take you. So I told you I was going to make you an offer. As you can see, there's a price that has appeared below this video, should be about now. And I hope you understand that this is for a limited time, as far as there will be 250 lifetime memberships that I will be becoming very personal with. And what I mean by that is I'm going to offer you my cell number, I'm going to offer you my email address, and I'm going to take 250 individuals and walk them through as lifetime members the course and be available to those individuals on a very consistent basis. So there's going to be 250 lifetime memberships, and then there's only going to be 250 people that I will personally support and walk through and connect and give you my cell phone number so that you can get as much out of this course as possible. I want to ensure your success personally and connect with you. And I'm also going to expect your testimonials. I'm going to expect your input and your communication back to me. So I'm very interested. I want you to succeed. I've seen a lot of success take place in this business, and I've seen people that you would never guess could be successful become successful. You know, I've seen very successful people take advantage of their existing network and become successful. But we've got to stay the course. We've got to stay in the business. We've got to develop this 6- and 7-figure mentality. We've got to develop the ability to lead, deal, and connect with people correctly, like we would if we were a leader in this business already. We've got to develop the ability to crush objections. So let me just congratulate you again, finally, on investing time in yourself. Watch for some more emails, videos from me. I'll stay connected with you. And even if you don't decide to become one of the founding Crusher members, one of the lifetime members, I'll stay connected with you and communicate some encouraging words with you. If we haven't connected on Twitter, feel free to do that. Look forward to seeing you in the future at some point. Congratulations on investing your time in yourself. Be a crusher, do the work.